Okay, so today we are talking about multiplying polynomials by binomials. So we could multiply two binomials or a binomial times a polynomial. So there's two methods to do this. You can use the distributive method or you can use FOIL. So we're going to use this product right here. This is a binomial, 5x minus 1, sorry. Remember, a binomial is just two terms joined by a plus or a minus. And I'm going to take that and multiply it by 3x minus 2, another binomial. Okay? So the first method that we're going to use is the distributive method. So this is going to be using distributive. So let's see. When I distribute, I know I take the number outside the parenthesis and multiply it by each term inside the parenthesis. So 5x times the quantity 3x minus 2. That's what that looks like. But I have two terms on the front, right? So then I also have to take negative 1 times 3x minus 2. So this is what the distributive method looks like. You break apart that first parenthesis and you multiply each term by the second parenthesis. 5x times 3x is 15x squared. 5x times negative 2 is negative 10x. I'm not sure why you guys are studying your maps. I mean, I know why you are, but close your Chromebooks because then you're going to not understand this and then you're going to say, well, so close your Chromebooks. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. And negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive 2. So now I need to combine like terms, and my two terms in the middle are both to x with x to the power of 1. So that just becomes 15x squared, same signs, add and keep, negative 13x plus 2. The next method is going to be the FOIL method. We're going to use the same problem, and we're going to FOIL. Does everybody have this one? Okay, so FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. That's what FOIL stands for. First, outside, inside, last. So I'm going to rewrite 5x minus 1 times the quantity 3x minus 2. And we are going to multiply the first term of the first parenthesis by the first term of the second parenthesis. So I'm going to write it out as 5x times 3x. That's what the first is. Then we are going to multiply the outside term of both. So 5x is on the outside and negative 2 is on the outside. 5x times negative 2. Then we are going to multiply the two terms that are on the inside. So my two inside terms, negative 1 times 3x. And then we're going to multiply the two last terms. This is the last term. Negative 1 is the last term of the first parenthesis. Negative 2 is the last term of the second parenthesis. So I'm going to slide this over just a little bit. Negative 1 times negative 2. And now I'm going to simplify that. So 5x times 3x is 15x squared. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. That's where my sign comes in, x. Negative 1 times 3x is negative. That's where my sign comes in, 3x. And negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive. That's where my plus comes in, 2. And again, I'm going to combine like terms. These two terms in the middle can be joined together to give me 15x squared minus 13x plus 2. Ma'am. So I'm going to show you the smiley face. I said I wasn't going to, but someone asked. So the smiley face is kind of like the FOIL method, but it's a little bit different. I think it's a horrible, like, remember that these aren't my notes. I use what everybody's using upstairs because, well, this is my first year here. I think that this is confusing. So I said I wasn't going to show it, but I'm going to show it. And then we're never going to use it again. So does that look like a smiley face? I mean, I just think it's easier to just, yeah, it's just easiest to distribute, right? Just take this first parenthesis, multiply this by both terms on the inside, and then take the next number and multiply it by both terms. It's like double distribution. I just think that's the easiest way to do it. You don't need all these little acronyms or little monikers that help you remember it. Just you're distributing. It's just so much easier, right? You guys know how to distribute. So that's what we're going to do. So let's do number 1 together. All right. So I have x times 3x, which is 3x squared. Then I have x times 1, and that's a positive 1, so that's 1x. I have 2 times 3x, which is 6x, and I have 2 times 1, which is 2. Almost always, I won't say always because you won't always, but almost always you will be able to simplify, join the two middle terms. Almost always. So I can combine the 1x and the 6x to become, yeah, positive 7x. Not squared. Same signs, add and keep. We're adding, not multiplying. Plus 2. I'm going to jump down to number 3 and number 4, and then we'll do number 2 using this little box over here to the side. It's called a factor box. So I'm going to do number 3. So again, I'm going to take the 2x times the 5x. 2 times 5 is 10. X times x is x squared. I'm going to take the 2x times the 2. Well, 2 times 2 is a positive 4 with the x. Then I go across the bottom. Negative 3 times 5x is negative 15x. And negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. So what terms can I group together? What is 4 and negative 15? Negative 11. Good job. So I have 10x squared minus 11x minus 6. Are you guys good with that? Does that make sense? Okay, let's do number 4. So for number 4, I'm just going to take x times x. Well, x times x is x squared. Then I'm going to take x times negative 8. That gives me negative 8x. I'm going to take 7 times x. That gives me a positive 7x. And I'm going to take 7 times negative 8, which is negative 56. Kind of had to smush those down here because I was running out of space. So let's see. X squared can't be grouped with anything. Negative 8 and a positive 7 become, yeah, negative x, good job, minus 56. So I want to look at number 2, and I want to show you how to fill out this factor box because did you guys ever learn lattice method for like multiplying? No? Yeah? Okay. So it's kind of like that if you think about it. So I'm going to take this 4x minus 5, and I'm going to write it right here, 4x, and I'm going to put the negative 5 here. So this is my first parenthesis on the left. Sometimes a visual is really good for you. And when we start factoring, this is how we break up our terms. So it's good to see this. And then I'm going to take this parenthesis, and I'm going to put 6x right here and negative 7 right here. So this is kind of like a times table, right? We take this number and multiply it by this number, and we get what? So 4x times 6x is 24x squared. Now I'm going to take the 4 and I have to multiply it by the -7, right? So if this were a times table, you guys have all seen a times table, right? You take the numbers that are on the left and the numbers that are over the top, and you kind of do this whole thing like, okay, so 4x times -7 gives me -28x. Very good. And then we're going to go down to the bottom term. So now I have a -5 times 6x, -30x. And then I have a -5 times a -7, +35. So you see, hopefully, that you can group these two terms together, right? So when I simplify this, I have 24x squared. I have two negative x terms that I'm adding together. So same signs, add and keep, -58x plus 35. So that's using a factor box. And again, we'll use that eventually. So it's good to see. So number 5, what are we thinking about number 5? Do you guys want to break it off like we do, like 4 of you do 5, 4 of you do 6, 4 of you do 7? You want to try it? Okay. Who wants to do number 5? Give me 3 hands. I'll assign number 5 to 3 people. Courtney, McKinley, and Sailor. Okay. If you also want to do number 5, that's fine, but wait till we assign them. Number 6, who's in charge of number 6? Cheyenne, Rosie, and Lorelai. Okay. Who's in charge of number 7? Tricky, Kaylee, Alexis, and Lainey. Okay. Who's in charge of number 8? I spelled everyone's name wrong. I'm just squiggling it. Do you not see that? Okay. Who else? Just Ava and Jasmine. That's all we're doing. One more person. Oh, I see you, Staley. Okay, there we go. Number 7 and number 8, I'm going to caution you to remember what it means to square something. Squaring something is repeated multiplication. Okay? Do it up. Are we ready? Who has number 1? Okay, you 3, what'd you guys get? That's exactly what I got. Okay, 21x cubed plus 28x squared minus 6x minus 8. There are no terms that you can combine because we don't have the same powers of x being multiplied together. Perfect. Nice job. My number 6 people, raise your hands. Number 6. Are you guys ready? Number 6. Okay, what'd you guys get?
I got 36 x to the 4th power minus 5x squared and y minus 24y squared.
Good job. 36x to the fourth minus 5x squared y minus 24y squared. Perfect. Very nice. Okay. Who has number 7? Kaylee, Alexis, and Lainey, right? Okay. Who wants to share their answer? Yeah, go ahead, Lainey.
I got x squared and then I squared 5, so x squared plus 5.
Okay. Kaylee, is that what you got? A negative 25? Okay. Alexis, what did you get? A negative 25? Okay. So I said, remember what squaring something means. Remember what it means to square something, right? When you square something, it means to repeat the multiplication. Do you guys see that? So I have to take the x times the x, but I also have to take the x times the negative 5, the negative 5 times the x, and the negative 5 times the negative 5. So when I do that, I get x squared minus 5x plus 25, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So my final answer is x squared minus 10x plus 25. Because when you square a binomial, you're repeating the multiplication, a binomial times a binomial. Does that make sense? So having said that, number 8, my number 8 kiddos, did you all repeat the multiplication or did you square the terms on the inside? How did you write that? Ava, Jasmine, Staley. You just squared it? Okay. What'd you get? 9x squared plus 4. Jasmine, is that what you got? Staley, is that what you also got? Okay. So I'm going to show you again. So when you look at that, remember when you square something, this is not joined by times. So when you square numbers that are multiplying, like when you're multiplying, you distribute the power. This isn't joined by a multiplication sign. This is joined by a subtraction sign. So that means I have to take this whole binomial, this minus this, and I have to multiply it by this minus this again. Okay? So you have to watch for that. That's why binomials, that's why it's different. It's not distributing a power through because it's not multiplication. They're joined by addition or subtraction. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Negative 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. And negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Final answer, 9x squared minus 12x plus 4. Okay, we have 2 more examples, and then I'm going to get you guys started. So last 2 examples, area. Remember, how do we find area of a triangle? Base times height divided by 2. So let's see, I have 2x minus 6 times x plus 3. I'm going to figure this out first, and then I'll divide by 2. Okay, are y'all good with that? So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 3 is a positive 6x. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. And negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. I'm going to combine like terms. So when I combine like terms, I actually have 2x squared. These cancel each other out. 6x minus 6x is 0. So I have 2x squared minus 18. And now I'm going to divide by 2. That means both numbers get divided by 2, right? So my area is actually x squared. 18 divided by 2 is 9. X squared minus 9. Okay? You guys good with that one? So for this next one, we're finding the volume. So volume is length times width times height. So let's do the x plus 3 times the x plus 7 first. And after we figure that out, then we'll multiply that by the 2x. Is that okay? So x times x is x squared. Good job. X times 7 is 7x, and it's a positive. Positive 3 times x and 3 times 7. So let's simplify that. That becomes x squared plus 10x, right? Plus 21. And now I'm going to multiply this by 2x. So I'm going to put that out front. And I'm going to distribute that to each term. 2x times x squared is, good job, 2x cubed. 2x times 10x is a positive, good job, 20x squared. And 2x times 21 is a positive 42x. Awesome. Okay. So homework is page 12 and page 13.